Well, hi everyone. It is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here, coming at you tonight with another great tip. So, if you are new to my stream, IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life, welcome. It's great to have you here. You're going to see a QR code at the top right. Scan that QR code with your phone, and then you will see exactly what I've got. If you can't get there, you can just go to linktr.ee/JOHNCMORLEY, serial, SERIAL, entrepreneur, ENTREPRENEUR. If you are coming back, well, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and associates. It's great to have you here. And, hopefully some of my new people will become loyal just like you guys are. And so we're talking about a very interesting topic all week, which I think is something that perplexes a lot of people. And what is it? What is one step you can take to get closer to goals? All right. So when we talk about a goal, the biggest thing is people look at a glass, right? Half empty. Now, this is actually half full. Well, it's more than half full. How do you get closer to a goal? Well, one way is by taking one sip at a time, one step at a time, right? And when you see a big goal, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to handle that goal. And so when you think about that, it can be daunting. And so, how do you handle that? First thing is, you need to brace yourself and break things into small components. When you do that, you'll find that it's easier to achieve your goal. Now, let's say, for example, I don't know, you want to build a house. What's one thing you could do to get closer to building your house? Well, if you're not somebody who actually builds the house, first thing you could do is after you decide you want to build a house, hire an architect. They'll sketch up a nice plan and make you fall in love with your dream even more because it will seem that much more real as it's on paper. You'll be able to visualize it. Some of them now can do animated CAD drawings. So the home will have all the properties, features, functionality, even some of the furniture that you'd want down to the very spec of the color and the carpeting and even the blinds or the windows. When we think about a goal, right, we need to understand, first of all, why do we want to achieve that goal, right? And I had one today to let you guys know. I always have goals. So I was working on a new piece of equipment. It was one I had never worked on before. And it was more of a mechanical project. It was a printer. And usually, changing the fuser on them is a pretty straightforward process. I've done it many times. Well, this one, when I looked at it the other day, I was like, oh, the fuser's like buried inside. There's something covering it. And so I printed out the manual because we're a service center for this company. And I looked at it, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do it today. But I took a baby step and I printed out the manual and I started to review it. That was a baby step. So then, what happened today? I was about to go home a few hours ago and I said, I want to fix that printer. And I said, it's got to be easy. I've already done the research. I know that it's just a matter of taking apart a panel or two and taking off something else, and then something's going to come undone. And I sat down, and first thing I did was there was a little clip. So the baby step was I took the little clip and I turned it. I rotated 90 degrees, and I was able to pop that out. So that was a baby step. The next baby step I took was I realized that I had to get to the fuser, and I'm like, well, how do I get to it? It's so deep, like there's coverings to it. How do I get to it? And so, first thing I realized is, you have to take the door off. Well, the door usually pops off very easily, but this door didn't pop off so easily. On the one side, it popped off, but on the left side, it actually did not pop off. And so I was looking at the directions, like, we'll just pop the pin out. But the pin didn't just come out. So when you do these things, you have to be very agile and you have to know what kind of pressure you can apply, where, how much, and for how long, so something doesn't break. And I was looking at it, was having a little bit of challenge of a problem, I should say, taking this pin out. I said, well, I can't find where the pin is. So I kept taking a screwdriver. So, well, maybe if I pry this, and I just kind of played around with it, and I got that side to come out, and I took that apart. Then there was a door piece I had to take out. And then the next step was like, okay, I know I got to take the left side of the printer off because the wires go in there, one of the main wires to heat the fuser. And there's also two other wires on the other side for sensor and for another jam sensor. And so I, took the cover off pretty quickly. That was easy. I took a tappet screw out and then pulled it off very easily. I knew how to locate the different, let's call them the little clips. And I was able to just get it right off. And so after I did that, the next step was to realize that I still couldn't get to the fuser. Like there's something covering it. So I realized I had to take out this piece that was covering it, the fuser cover. So I took that out. Okay. Still can't get to the fuser. Why can't I get to it? There's a piece on top that's blocking the fuser from being able to come out. So I see it, but it doesn't really want to come out. So I had to wiggle it, and then I had to push a little bit so I could pull it out. So it was a little tricky. After I did that, I realized there were some wires on the left side, which I just undid the power wire, which actually heats up the roller on the fuser. And then there were two other wires on the right side. A little tricky because they were nestled in between. And then I had to get that unwrapped, pull that up, and then bam, I was able to pull it out, put the new one in, and I felt great. But changing that fuser all in one thing was probably hard. So I said, I'm going to take a baby step. And the baby step I did was I printed out the manual the other day. And the next baby step I took was, well, I'm going to take the cover off because I know I got to take the cover off. And sometimes when you just look at something and you come back at it, that's enough. And so my mind was already assimilating after looking at the instructions and figuring out, because I've took enough of these apart, what do I need to do next? And then after I put the roller in and got the wires all neatly tucked and put back in the right spot, put all the screws back in, fiddled with the way the cover had to go in a certain way, the door. And then there's another piece behind that have to go in. There was another piece that actually would go over the fuser. I had to put that back in, which was on the bottom of it. And then I got that all together. I put the side cover in. Noticed there was a spot that was out. I just kind of gave it a tap, went back in, put the screw in, got everything lined up, turned it on, went into maintenance mode, and printed out a sheet to give the diagnostic information. I was done. So I took a lot of baby steps to achieve my goal, which was changing the fuser. Again, I've changed fusers in lots of printers before, but this printer, the way they designed it, they recessed, I should say, the fuser way in the printer. So getting at it was not the easiest thing. All right. Another thing today, we're working on a new video package for a new service we're rolling out at Neighborhood Publications and Productions. And so I was working on that, and I wasn't really sure where it was going to go, but I took a baby step. And the baby step was that I know how I want to lay it out, or I know what I want to do. And in this case, it was bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Then I came up with some more information. Another thing I had to do today was we started building a 32-foot float. And that seemed very daunting, but I just embraced it and I took it in little baby steps. And when you take a project and you put it in baby steps, it becomes a lot easier. A lot easier. Because when you get one thing done, ladies and gentlemen, you celebrate that victory and the dopamine goes off in your brain. I don't know about you, but when I got it apart, I felt great. And then when I got the fuser out, I felt great. And when I put the new fuser on, I felt great, got it connected. And when I got all the covers back on, I felt really good. And then the moment of truth came, turned it on, sounded great, and it printed out perfectly without any black lines horizontally or vertically. Now, when I first put the fuser back in, went in fine, but then there was a piece that had to go on top. But for whatever reason, it wasn't sitting on top. Now, I remember from another time that I did this, don't fret or hassle, just take it out and just kind of play with it a little bit, just kind of sink it in a little bit, and it magically went into the right spots. Because I remembered from another repair that I did, the gears will have to line up in a certain way. And you have to kind of just play with it a little bit so they kind of line up. You can't just set it down. You have to kind of wiggle it and get them to sit in, and it worked perfectly. So that was appearing to be a big project, but I took it in baby steps. And when you take something in baby steps, you celebrate those minor victories, those, let's say, small milestones that you have. A lot of people don't want to celebrate them. It's like, well, John, that's not the goal. Okay, it's not the goal. You ever gone on a long trip and you have different, let's say, checkpoints where you're going to stop, maybe to have gas, use the restroom, eat, take a scenic stop to look at what's there, maybe look at another attraction or something. And when you do that and you take those stops, the trip doesn't seem very long, but you celebrate that we got to this state or that we got to this midway point or whatever it is. And it fuels you with more dopamine in your brain to push you to go the next step. Another thing that people ask me all the time is, John, how do I do something when I don't know how to do it? Wow, that's a fun one. Okay, let's take that in a generality, right? So you want to do something, but you don't know how to do it, and you need to finish something. So how do you do it? Well, what do you know how to do that's close to this skill? Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're doing something like trying to paint a picture. What do you know how to do? What can you compare it to? And then when you can look for similarities, see, that's why when you learn something and you connect it with something you know, which is your great solid foundation, it causes more roots, it causes more neurons to connect with the synaptics. And when that happens, you become more intelligent. And what's great about this is that every time you make a connection, your brain gets that much faster with that and reasoning. That's pretty wild. So you want to do something, but you don't know how to do it. But you might know how to do something like it. And you can compare the similarities, right? You could do that all day long. When you compare the similarities, well, this is like the way I do that, but this is a little different. But I guess I could do this if I change this around a little bit. And that's kind of what I did with the printer today. I knew the basic idea of what I was going for, which was to change the fuser. And I knew that all fusers have one main wire for the power and they have two other wires for sensors. That's how most of them are done. And I knew how it was generally put together. I just had to figure out some idiosyncrasies. The biggest challenge was getting the cover off, because they're saying pull the pin out, but really you don't pull the pin out. You have to just push it out. And when they're saying push it out, what they really should have told me to do is to take the screwdriver and just pry it out a little bit. And that's not what they said. So I took a baby step. And my baby step was getting the door off. Now that took a little bit of time. So when you want to do something in life, I don't care what it is, if you can take some earmarks of something you already know how to do and compare that with what you have, you've got the foundations, my friend, for building a successful formula because you already know the how. You just might not know all the specifics or particulars. Your brain will work really, really well. Okay, that's something that's very important. Mike, we're going to go ahead and I guess we're going to block this person again. I have to laugh at these people that come over here and they just try to put X-rated content into our show, and I don't know. I just feel bad that they have no life. They got to be bots because no person could have a life that's that boring that they have to just sit here and try to push out their crap on this stupid X-rated content. It's just it blows my mind. You know, if you actually took time to do something meaningful with your life, you could share some real value. So this week we've talked a lot about how to take a baby step. Tomorrow we're going to sum it all up and show you how you can really achieve some greatness by taking baby steps, including motivation. Because I know motivation gets a little daunting for people like, oh, John, I can't do that. Like, there's no way I can get in that frame of mind. Maybe you can't get in that frame of mind, but maybe you can get into a smaller frame of mind that'll put you into a beginning state, which will cause you to stay positive, which will get you to keep escalating up until you get to the goal that you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you will show me some love, with a support, a love, a curious mark. Comment below what you think about the video and what baby step do you need to take because you just feel stuck. You're not going anywhere with your goal right now. Number 3, of course, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share it out with everyone you know here on social media. And then go to my YouTube channel, type in John space C space Morley space serial entrepreneur, and look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. Below, click on the PayPal link and make that choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, new staff, and even new facilities to produce and deliver the most jaw-dropping, inspirational, motivational content to get you out of procrastination, taking baby steps that'll lead you to the future of your desires. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a pleasure being with you tonight, and we'll wrap up this entire series tomorrow entitled, What is One Step You Can Take to Get Closer to Your Goal or Goals? We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a good one. Take care.